Hi dear student, this is Naveed Khan, your mathematics teacher. Today we will discuss frequency distribution and its graph. Okay, so let's have a look. Now dear student, here the outline of this lesson is first of all organization of data. Okay, after organization of the data, how to draw histogram, represent the data by frequency, polygon and ogive. Okay, and other types of graphs. Now here we have a question. This question is from chapter number 2, frequency distribution and graphs. So example 2.2 and page number 47. So dear student, here is the example. The following data represent the record high temperatures for each of the 50 states. Construct a group frequency distribution for the data using 7 class. It means that we have 7 groups. Okay, so first of all we need to find out class size. We need to find out size of the class. So how to find out size of the class? Before going to find out size of the class, we need to find out range of the data. Okay, so what is the formula to find out range of the data? Here in this observation, so the range of the data is equal to highest value minus smallest value. Okay, highest value minus smallest value. So now dear student, in already this question we have already discussed in our first lesson. So this is our highest value, okay, and 100 is our lowest value. So the range will become 134 minus 100. So the answer will become 34. Okay, the range will become 34. Now dear student, after this we need to find out size of the class. Size of the class already we have discussed in our previous lesson. Size of the class means that this range will be divided by, so range is equal to 34, range will be divided by, if we have 7 number of classes, so we will divide it by 7. If we have 6 number of classes, then we will be divided by 6. Okay, but here we have 7 classes, so range will be divided by 7. So here size of the class 34 divided by 7, so the answer will become 4.8, okay, something. But after rounding, so the size of the class, it will become 5. Now dear student, here in our question, so we know that how to find out range of the data, highest value minus lowest value. So highest value is 34 minus 100, so range of the data is equal to 34. Okay, so now we need to find out size of the class or width of the class. So size of the class or width of the class is equal to, range will be divided by 7 or 6 or any other number. Okay, so now the answer is 5. Now dear students, this we need to draw frequency distribution table. Okay, I already draw the frequency distribution table for you, but how to draw it? Look it here. Now dear student, here will be class, here will be class limit or class groups. Okay, so just reminder, our small number was 100, the lowest number in the data was 100, so we have to start it from 100. Okay, here will be 100, then we have to add 5 with 100. Why 5? Because our width of the class was 5 in the previous slide. So this is 100 plus 5, so it will become 105. Okay, then 105 plus 5, it will become 110, and 110 plus 5, it will become 115. 115 plus 5, it will become 120. Okay dear student, and similarly 120 plus 5, it will become 125, and 125 plus 5, so we have 130. Okay, now dear student, we need to complete this frequency distribution. So all these are the lower limit of these groups, but what about the upper limit? So upper limit, this is 105, we have to reduce one number from 105, so it will become 104. Okay, this is 105, we have to reduce one number from 105, so it will become 104. Now 104 plus 5, it will become 109. Then 109 plus 5, it will become 114, and similarly it will become 119. Okay, here will become 124 plus 5, it will become 129, and at the end we have 134. Okay, just imagine here we have already drawn these groups. So 100 to 104, 105 to 109, 110 to 114, 115 to 119, 120 to 127, and here we have 125 to 129 and 130 to 134. Okay, now dear student, this slide is a continuation of the previous slide. So here let me select the pen. So here already this is the frequency distribution table, and we know about it, how to draw the frequency distribution table. Class limits are here. Okay, so we have 7 groups. Okay, we know how to find out class boundaries. Frequency will be here. How many numbers are there from 100 to 104? If we see it from the table, so the frequency here, the frequency is 2. Okay, now the next slide we will discuss it, how to find out frequency of what will be the frequency of these groups. Okay, so now dear student, here in this slide from 100 to 104, okay, we have total 2 numbers. From 105 to 109, we have 8 numbers. Okay, and actually these are called frequencies of the data. From 1010 to 114, we have 18 numbers, and here frequency of the 4th group is 13, frequency of the 5th group is 7, and similarly frequency of the last 2 groups are 1 and 1 respectively. Okay, now right after this, my dear student, we need to find out cumulative frequency to complete this frequency distribution table. Okay, so for cumulative frequency, this is 2, write down here is 2, then here this 2 plus 8, the answer is 10. Okay, write down the answer is 10, and then 10 plus 18, write down the answer is 10 plus 18, the answer is 28, and then 28 plus 13, the answer is 28 plus 13, the answer is equal to 41. 41 plus 7, the answer is equal to 48. Okay, dear student, and 48 plus 1 is equal to 49, and similarly 49 plus 1 is equal to 50. So these are the frequency, and this column is for frequencies and this column is for cumulative frequency. Okay, now we need to draw histogram, frequency polygon, and Ogive. Okay, so now in this slide already this is the proper representation of the frequency distribution table. Class limits, first it will be class limits, we need to draw it, we need to make the groups, and then it will be class boundaries. Class boundaries we will make it from the class limits. Okay, then frequency, and then cumulative frequency. Okay, here we need to discuss first of all, now frequency distribution table completed. Now here we need to discuss a histogram. Here the second number is frequency polygon, how to draw the frequency polygon, and the third one is cumulative frequency polygon, it means that Ogive. Okay, now my dear student, for the histogram we need class boundaries. This is very important, class boundaries plus frequency. Okay, so we need to take only these two, class boundaries plus frequency. For the frequency polygon, we need to take midpoint. Midpoint means at class mark. Okay, class mark, midpoint or class mark plus frequency. Okay, this is very important. Now for the frequency polygon ogive, we need class boundaries. Okay, we need class boundaries plus cumulative frequency. Just keep these formulas in your mind. For the histogram, we need class boundary plus frequency. For the frequency polygon, we need to find the midpoint. Midpoint means at class mark. Okay, class mark, midpoint, and here is the frequency. For cumulative frequency ogive, okay, we need to find out the class boundary plus class cumulative frequency. Okay, first of all, we need to discuss how to draw the histogram. Okay, so the histogram, my dear student, as already we have drawn this table in our previous slides. Okay, here will be class limits. So for the histogram, as I told you that we have discussed it in our previous slide, class boundaries and frequency is important for the is compulsory for the histogram. Now my dear student, after completing the frequency distribution table, so here we need to draw a histogram. As we have already discussed, for the histogram we need class boundaries, and the second thing is frequency plus frequency. Okay, class boundary and frequency. So we will write here, we will draw class boundary on x-axis, horizontal axis. Okay, and frequencies, it will be here on the vertical line from 99.5 to 104.5. so the frequency is 2. Okay, from 104 to 109, here the frequency is 8. Okay, from 109 to 109.5 to 114.5, so the frequency is here 18. Okay, dear student, and similarly here is the frequency is 13. Now the next frequency is 7, second last frequency is 1, and here the last frequency of the last group is 1. Okay, so as I ask you that, first of all we need to draw this vertical line. Okay, here will be the vertical line and here will be horizontal line. So now in this vertical line, so we need to draw class boundaries on x-axis. Here will be 99.5 and here will be 104.5, then here will be 109.5, and here will be 114.5, and here will be 119.5, and here will be the next will be 124.5, and here will be 129, and here will be 134.5. Okay, so now dear student, frequency here is let's suppose if we write here is 2, then 4, then 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. You can take more from from 99.5 to 104.5. so the frequency is here is 2. Okay, so the frequency of the first group is 2. We need to draw it like this in the vertical line. Now the next frequency is 8, so draw vertical lines, vertical graph. For the next group the frequency is 8, then the next frequency is 18. 18 is here. Just keep one thing in your mind, that there will be no gap between the graphs. Okay, then similarly the next one is 13, the next frequency is 13, here will be 13, and the next frequency is 7, so here you need to draw 7, and then here is 1, so 1 is here, it is the midpoint, and here this is also 1. Okay, kindly differentiate it in different colors. Okay, let's suppose one is blue, one is red, one is green, yellow, so you please differentiate these graphs by different colors. So this is the simple example of histogram. Now my dear student, for the same question we need to draw frequency polygon. Okay, now we need to draw frequency polygon. So already I spoke to you before that. For the frequency polygon we need to find out the midpoint of the class plus frequency. Okay, now in the previous slide, in the frequency distribution table, okay, so first of all we need to find out the midpoint plus frequency, and then we will be able to draw frequency polygon. Okay, let's have a look. So dear student, these are groups. We have 7 groups. Okay, already we have drawn this one in our previous slides. So we need to draw midpoint 104. How to draw midpoint? So 100 plus lower limit plus upper limit. Okay, and then divided by 2, so the answer will become 102. This is the midpoint of the first group. Similarly, midpoint of the second group, of the third group. These are the midpoints of these groups. Okay, and the midpoint of the last group is 132, and these are the frequency. As usual, we have already done this one. Okay, so for the frequency polygon, dear student, just keep one thing in your mind. For the frequency polygon we need to find out the class midpoints and frequency. Okay, so here, look at here my dear student, this is 102, so the frequency for the first midpoint frequency is 2. Now 107 is the midpoint, the frequency is 8. Okay, so we need to write. How to write? Look at here, this is a vertical line, this is a horizontal line. Okay, so here little bit it is tilted, but this is the horizontal line. Okay, here will be the midpoint. Start from here, 102. Okay, and here will become 107, and here will become 112, here will become 117, and here will become 122, 127, and here will become 132. The same like here in the previous slide, 2, 4, it will become 6. Here the vertical line 8, 10, here will be 12, 14, 16, here will be 18 and 20. Okay, so the midpoint, the frequency for the first midpoint is 2. Okay, this is 107. The frequency of the second midpoint is 8. Then here the frequency is 18 for the third midpoint. For the fourth midpoint the frequency is 13. Okay, dear student, and here the frequency is just 7, and here the frequency is 1, and also 132 the frequency is 1. Okay, just meet all these points. Okay, so this is called frequency polygon. Now once you draw it, then you have to meet it here in the midpoint. Okay, so now dear student, this is a simple example how to draw the frequency polygon. Now dear student, for the same question we need to draw ogive for the previous question, for the same question 2.2. so let's have a look how to draw the ogive. For the ogive, so we need class boundaries. okay, plus cumulative frequency. This is very important. You should be clear that which two columns you need to take for the ogive, for the frequency polygon, and for the histogram. Okay, so my dear student, we need to take only class boundaries and cumulative frequencies here. Okay, so let's have a look. We need to draw it. We will start it from 99.5 and here, and these are the cumulative frequency. For the 99.5, the cumulative frequency will be 0. So we will start it from here. 104.5, the cumulative frequency will become 2. Okay, for 109, the cumulative frequency will become 10. So let's have draw these on horizontal line. So we will take it from like this, 99.5, 104.5. okay, now my dear student, here is 99.5 and here is 104.5. so we need to draw it from here, cumulative frequency. Okay, so let's draw it. So here I need to draw this graph. Okay, so similarly like in the previous one, here will be 99.5, here will be 104.5, here will be 109.5. okay, so now it's better to explain it from here. Okay, so this is 99.5, 104.5, 109.5, 114.5, and similarly go to the last one, 134.5. okay, so now the as I ask you that the upper limit is 104, so its frequency is 2. Then the next frequency, cumulative frequency, is 2 plus 8. The next cumulative frequency is 10. Okay, it will be on 105.5, and then 114.5. the next cumulative frequency will become 28. So okay, here is 28. Okay, here is 28. Then the next cumulative frequency, 28 plus 13 is equal to 41, so it will be here. Okay, this is 41. Then 41 plus 7 is equal to 48. Okay, so this is 48, here is 48, and then here is 49, and here will become 50. It will become 50. No need to draw this line, I just want to tell you. Okay, and then meet it with 199.5. okay, so this is a simple example of ogive, how to draw it. This is a very important question. You need to, first of all, in one frequency distribution table, the question will be asked about draw histogram. Sometime the question will be like this, draw frequency polygon, and sometime the question will need to ask draw ogive for the frequency distribution. Okay, so nowadays students, this is the reference of the book Blue Man 2008 Elementary Statistics 10th edition, New York, McGraw-Hill. So thank you very much my dear student. You stay safe.